Welcome to Blank Pges. This is another great episode, I believe. We're gonna step into some new beginnings, some new stuff. It's a new year. And with that, it's essential that we understand the difference between a clean slate and a blank page to get started. So picture this, a clean slate is like this pristine canvas, right? It's devoid of any remnants or any ghosts or streaks from the past. It allows for an entirely fresh start without residue. It's enabling us, right? That non-residue stuff. It enables us to paint a new picture of our lives. But conversely, right, a blank page, it signifies endless possibility, untouched, and free from any previous imprints. It's inviting. It invites us to script a narrative that's entirely our own. So these are two different or concepts or different things that are a way for you to look at how you can begin. And so I like to even go a little further with that. I like to separate it into a clean slate and a blank piece of paper, right? So we can really get into like what it means. So before I go too far, I hope that you wrapped up the end of the year well, and I hope that you're moving into your new year. I mean, I have so much that I want to share in a small amount of time that I want to be mindful of that you are giving to listen to this podcast. So I just want to say, coming into the new year, it's so important. I just hope you finished well, and I hope that you were able to have some great time with friends and family, and that you're really embracing just looking forward to hopefully an ambitious future, right, in 2024. Thank you for those who have been listening, sending me notes, and thank you for subscribing to the show and liking and sharing with your friends. Thank you for engaging with me on Instagram, and those of you can catch me there at Tim Pecoraro. So that's real simple. And hey, when you're out there and you're posting, and if you tag me or anything, or if you're working on yourself, always use a hashtag better at being human. So that's better at being human. So speaking of the new year and coming into it, was a really cool thing. So on New Year's Eve, across the street from me, there's a family that has two little girls and a little boy, and they're tiny, they're small, and they're so active, and they come outside, and every day they're doing something, and they do it right there in the front yard. I love it. They're a group of people that come right there in the front yard and do everything. But they had on all the New Year garb, and anyone that would come down the road, they would come outside and start singing, "Happy New Year to you, Happy New Year." And it was the cutest thing. They were just like, it was adorable. And it just made me think, like, they are celebrating something. They're so excited. And it just made me remember how important it was to have that type of innocence, which leads me into what I want to talk about. I want everyone to step into this new year with this understanding that, you have this opportunity to come at it with a clean slate or a blank page. And I want you to make sure that you understand that. So here's how you could separate the two a little further. A clean slate implies that something existed before, has been erased or forgiven. It's about starting over, but with a history that might still influence the present. It's like resetting a game where the previous rounds might still affect how you play now. But if you go to the other side of this and you say, well, let's go with a blank piece of paper. So on the other hand, now it suggests it's an absolute newness to it, or potential, without any prior influence. It symbolizes pure creation, or the opportunity to start something entirely new. It's like beginning a completely new game, right? With no rules or outcomes influenced by past actions. So what's really cool about it, even though both of them are starting anew, but a blank piece of paper, it's going to offer more unbounded. So it's going to be a pure beginning. It's compared to like a clean slate, which is still going to have this, you're moving past something, but there's always that thing that something else has always occurred. There's always that thing dragging behind you. And it's that ghosting or that mark. It's like when people say, I can forgive, but I can't forget, right? Well, what they're saying is like, I'll give you a clean slate, but there's a lot of ghosting there. And I understand that. And I think as human beings, we should do that. We should be able to have a clean slate kind of mindset and start there. We should all start there, but our goal should be that blank page where we say, listen, we're not forgetting anything. However, moving forward, we're not going to make decisions based on that memory. And so that's important. It's more redemptive to me. And that's one of the things that I'm really working hard at, is making sure that I do more blank page stuff with other people, blank page stuff with myself, blank page stuff with the things I'm doing, and not so much of the clean slate thing. So people could say it's semantics, but for me, it makes sense. And I want something that, I want to build. But I don't want to be talking about everything I've always done. I want to talk about the things that I'm doing. And I want to talk about what is the understanding now that I'm working with, right? Because I've gone through this process of knowledge and then into wisdom and then understanding. Like, you're going through it. It's an ongoing thing. But what I'm really wanting to know is, in everything that happens, I want to make sure I understand. So in this understanding, for me, I want it to be a blank piece of paper, a blank page. So let's get into that, because it's a new year and I know people are going to have their goals. They're going to have all these things they set. And I just want to go ahead and say, take a deep breath, because if you didn't hit it and hit it all at once, it's okay. It's okay to acclimate, get yourself built up towards doing it. Okay. That's all right. Now, I know some people say, don't do that. You got to go all in. Great. That's fine. But I'm also kind of, I think, more of a coach, like a coach when it comes to a sport. Not every athlete comes in ready to play. So let's go ahead and do that with ourselves, because guess what? Our bodies are something, but so is our psyche. So is our internal spirit person. And so what we want to do is get ourselves acclimated. So take a deep breath, relax. But here's what I want you to do, because it's a new year. I want to help you get a blank page mindset, right? So I want to help you embrace that. So this is like this canvas that you're going to work with. Every day is going to be a blank page. Every day is going to be an opportunity, right? Every day is going to have untapped potential. It's going to be every day you open the door and the future comes in. It's not merely just this philosophy thing, right? But it's going to be a transformative approach. It's going to it's the urging, the thing that inside of you to perceive every single moment as it's an uncharted territory, but it's something I want to get into. It's my opportunity to reinvent. It's my opportunity to learn. At the core, I want you to know that a blank page mindset is going to champion the concept of starting afresh, unburdened by past narratives or constraints. It's going to beckon us to approach situations, challenges, and even our own lives with a perspective that's unmarred by preconceptions or biases or our own self-imposed limitations or, hey, the remnants, the ghosting, right? On the clean slate. But the thing that I want you to realize is you're going to have to be open to this. You're going to have a willingness to embrace new ideas, and you're going to have to be willing to be adventurous. You're going to have to be willing to sit on the edge of uncertainty. You're going to have to entertain very, very diverse and different viewpoints. It's going to cause you to become more creative, actually. And you're going to get into this place where more solutions are going to come up instead of just problems. So you're not going to, when you get into this blank page mindset and you step into this openness, it's going to also cause you to step into how do I put it? So it's that fuel space, that place where you just get excited and you feel stuff building up. It's like a sport. And again, like in soccer and when you're playing, or football, for those of you know what I mean, and you're playing from the back and you're building up and you're allowing things to unfold. You're not just trying to put a big ball up over the top. You're just building up and you're working and you're connecting things. That's where you want to get. That's what happens when you have a blank page. You give yourself to start fresh with being creative and having more ideas. But it's not just about having the absence of, prior things that have happened or content or whatever. It's about a deliberate act of filing the those blank pages with purposeful and intentional strokes, like filing the old stuff, put that away, but creating and filling your new pages with intentional lines, doing it on purpose. So yes, you have to put away the other things and file that away intentionally, but you have to fill in a new way the blank page. Now, I am not an advocate for forgetting the past, right? But I believe in learning from it. Because when you learn, it's more about forgiveness. It's not just saying, I'm sorry. Sorry's great, but it still keeps power. But when you ask for forgiveness, it lets go of some power. So you want to always remember, you want to champion forgiveness and moving past grievances and starting new. You also, when you're in this kind of a mindset, you're adaptable in the face of change, and you know what happens when you get rigid, and you know what that'll do. So when you embrace this mindset, you're going to step away from being confined and being stuck and anything that ties you down. You're going to move beyond that stuff, well beyond it. So what I want to do is I want to kind of give you just a little list, something that will help you as you develop this mindset. This mindset, I want it to be something that you just will continue to remember, that you make it into what you need it to be. So if it's a blank page situation, you want to just sit down and say, hey, how do I go into this new thing? How do I do this part of my relationship better? How do I do this thing with my work better? How do I work with coworkers better? How do I go about the way I start a new thing better? All of it. But remember, so be informed. You don't have to forget, just be informed, but make new decisions, not driven by everything that you've already done. Okay, so I'm going to give you some things that I just want you to list out. All right, this is what happens when you have an adversarial. This is what happens when you have a blank page mindset and when you don't, right? So if you have a blank page mindset, you're going to be open to new ideas. But if you don't have one, you're going to be resistant to change. Okay? So for the new year, if you have a blank page mindset, you're going to be open. If you don't, you're going to be resistant to change. Second thing is, if you have a blank page mindset, you'll be willing to learn. And if you have the adversarial view of that, you'll have a fixed mindset. You won't learn. And so if you have a blank page mindset, you'll believe in the fresh start, like a complete fresh start. But if you don't have that, you'll believe in dwelling on the past mistakes. If you have a blank page mindset, you'll be creative and you'll step into that creativity and innovation. And if not, it'll be being stagnant and rigid. If you have a blank page mindset, you'll find yourself not being so biased in perspective. You'll move more into an unbiased perspective. Because if you have the adversarial view, you'll come in strong with your prejudgments and the biases. If you have a blank pages mindset, you'll be adaptable, and that's always good. And if you're not, you'll be resistant, the person who is resistant to change. And if you have the blank page mindset, you'll embrace uncertainty. Yes. Get on that edge. Sit on the seat, the edge of that seat right there where uncertainty is. But if you don't have that, you'll fear all the time the unknown. If you have a blank page mindset, you'll have the forgive and let go. And if you don't, you will hold that grudge. You will totally and definitely hold that grudge. Now, I will list those in the show notes, so please feel free to work on those. And in the future, I'm going to get more into that, and I will actually be putting some material together for creating your own blank page moments where I'll show you some frameworks that will help you to do that well and do it better, and just move into more of the open spaces of blank pages. So, but what I really want to do is now that I've said all that and given you this mindset part, I want you to think about, you're going into the new year. You're here. Remember, I talked about just building up. It's okay to get yourself acclimated to what's happening, and you don't have to do everything at once. You can do a little at a time. Well, one of the things I want to help you do is get a word. Just get one word that's going to help drive you, okay, and give you some direction. So I'm putting a resource together that's going to go deeper into this, but I'm just going to give you a basic overview for how you can find your one word. So this process is about distilling our intentions and our aspirations into just a single potent word, okay, that's going to serve as our guiding light throughout the year. So here we go. These are, once again, just guiding steps, right? Finding your word. So just imagine, because I know I would, and I hope you would. So let me just ask you this question. Would you like to embark like on a journey to discover your one word? What if you could do that in 7 days? Would that be pretty cool? All right. So let's just say I'm going to give you something to do for 7 days and help you find your one word. All right. So this is a simple, in a nutshell, way to do it. I hope you'll do it. And if you find it, I want you to tag me on Instagram at Tim Pecoraro with your one word. And that would be great. Okay. So here's number one. It takes a reflective beginning. So you want to, on day one, just begin with reflecting on your goals, your values and aspirations, that you want to see in the year. You can say for a month, for the first month or first 3 months, and it could be half a year. Just work your way into it. And then what are the themes that kind of resonate real deeply with you as you're reflecting on that, okay? Number 2, you want to brainstorm and kind of do a little research. So dive into this thing. Generate a list of like words that align with your intentions, right? I always say to people, align, right? So you want to align your intentions with your impact, or align your impact with your intentions. So no matter what you want to do, if you know what impact you want, so make sure that you align your intentions along with it. That way you know that you're intending to do that, right? So what aligns with it? So explore those meanings, right? And what do they mean behind them? And like, what's it all about? And then these are the things that should, when you find those meanings, these are the words that you understand and that you get them, and they're fully a part of what I would say is, your essence. All right. So then you want to narrow it down. Number 3, just narrow the thing down, trim the list, cut the list down, cut it down. I know for me, I could get a lot of words, but what I'm understanding now more in life is sometimes just leave a lot of synonyms alone, these adjacent things, and find the thing that's real concrete. Really try to get better at curating the words that have the most weight for your life. So trim it down. And those words that resonate most powerfully with your aspirations, right? And then number 4, visualization and evaluation, right? Envision how each word could manifest in your life, how it could show up. Remember, you open the door, the future comes in. Consider that emotional impact and the resonance, right, of those words. And then you want to test it out a little bit, right? So that'd be number 5, test day 5. Select one word and test it, test it for a day or 2. And use it as a lens to make a decision. Like say, hey, I'll use this word and I'll make a decision. Observe how it influences your choices, or what kind of influence does it have on you. Then 6, seek some inspiration, like quotes and stories, anything that would be related, something that would be maybe a potential word even. But let those sources or things that you engage, let them reinforce where you go. And then 7, you got to make a decision, right? Final decision and intentions. So make your final choice and set your intentions around it. Commit to embodying that word, right, through your whole year and allowing it to guide and inspire you. All right. So I hope you will just take that serious, take it to heart, reflect. Do reflective beginnings. Number 1, day 1. Day 2, brainstorm and research. Day 3, narrow things down. Day 4, visualize and evaluate it. Day 5, test the waters. Day 6, seek inspiration. And day 7, hey, it's final decision and intentions. So that's a simple thing. Post what your results are, if you will, at Tim Pecoraro on Instagram. I hope you find that one word, and I hope you can do it with a blank page mindset. And just remember that. Always sit down, take your time, and be someone that will fill those blank pages, because nothing will listen better than a blank piece of paper. So until next time, I hope that you have an amazing kickoff to your new year. Talk soon.